or anything. Let's just go.
Invited all those guys. I don't know if anybody's around, but I invited them. So
I don't care. I don't want to talk with him.
if they pop in, then they pop in.
I think we're live, bro.
Hey, we're live. And the Packers just did it again. How did they do it again? Number two.
Holy crap.
Never forget about number 2, Ben.
I don't like Mason Crosby.
What?
But I like this kick. I've never been a big fan of Mason Crosby.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
He's unorthodox, but he usually, he's got a great track record of producing. He scares you a little bit. But,
a lot of bit.
But he comes through damn near all the time.
I mean, he could have been the reason why, why they kind of sucked. Like, why can't he kick the ball out of the end zone like most kickers?
Because he's up there, man. He's up there.
Yeah, okay, maybe they should have Bojorquez kick the ball then. Maybe.
Hey, Big Play Slade says, congrats on the win. Oh my
Big Play Slade, look at this guy.
That's
Saints fan. A Saints fan shows up. What does that tell you?
Your defense is really good, man. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Well.
If we had your defense, we'd be unstoppable.
Yeah.
But we have our defense. So we got to win crazy games like that.
Listen, I just want to say a few words.
Because
I pushed you to go live here.
You go
and it's because on our chat, Bruce, I love you, Bruce, but you got to lay off the floor. He kept going on and on about the field goal. He didn't go. He went for he should have kicked the points and blah, blah, and all this kind of crap. And I'm just going to tell you, there is about 17 other bull crap calls in this game that should not have mattered.
Say it.
At all about what LaFleur didn't do or did do. And then also, you can't have it both ways. You can't blame LaFleur for kicking the field goal in the NFC Championship game and then blaming LaFleur for not going for it or for not kicking a field goal. Now, either you want him to be aggressive and do stuff or you want him to not. Which one do you want?
Agreed.
That's all I'm going to say. And I like Bruce is fine. But the whole time, he's just like, those 3 points are going to get us. Those 3 points are going to get us. Those three, like all through game long. And I'm like, Bruce, dude, I know it sucks. Let's just don't say it anymore because you're making me mad. It's making me not want to see you anymore or hear your text there. Or see your text.
Look,
but it's
Bruce is, his point is well taken.
It's
like a different thing, right? At the same time, too, I was like, man, in that situation, in that point of the game, when you're up 13-0, you got the interception.
Yeah.
You want to come away with some points there. And and on the road, it's a different situation too. So I totally get it. Like I was thinking the same thing. Like, let's just let's be Mike Holmgren here for a minute and let's just kick the field goal and take the points and go up 16-0. Because again, you never know how things are going to play out in the rest of the game when you might need those 3 points. Now, as it turns out, it didn't matter because Aaron Rodgers is freaking crazy and Mason Crosby's awesome. So what do? They only needed 37 seconds and no timeouts, and they got in his range, and he nailed the kick. So it's all good. But at the same time, yeah, you look at those decisions, and especially I think on the road, it's a little different. And again, at that point in the game, like when you're up by that score, you don't want to.
Yeah, but
it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough.
I like the fact that they're trying to step on the neck and just end it.
Yeah.
Okay. And if they would have scored a touchdown there,
right,
they would have. It would be over. It'd be over.
Well, I wouldn't say it'd be over, but
it would be over because the 49ers proved all the things I said they proved. And the other thing is this. I said on Friday, they're a bunch of cheap sons of guns.
They really are.
I don't understand. I don't understand how a guy can helmet to helmet smack a dude, defenseless receiver, blatantly do that. On the very next series, Jair Alexander barely touches Jimmy Garoppolo's helmet, and that's a pass in or whatever stupid bullcrap call on Jair. I mean, like, listen, everybody in that stadium, everybody watching the game knew that was a bullshit. A bullshit not call. and then you make up for the fact when there's a corner who barely touches Jimmy Garoppolo. Don't call that crap. Don't call that crap. Make up for the fact that you screwed up. That's what they do in the NBA all the time. You know, when Jordan back in the day would elbow a guy and get a cheap call, then they go down and they call a foul on, some scrub crap guy to even it out. Right? Happened all the time. But that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Well, Kittle's flop in the end zone was pretty bad too. Like first, they're like, "Oh,
that was the other thing." Like, "Oh, he beat him up." I'm like, "No, he didn't. He fell. He Alan Lazarded it. He tripped over his own feet and fell down in between two Packers. That was what happened. It wasn't a freaking pass interference.
I know that was some holding
or whatever the crap it was.
Yeah, because that was also an automatic first down reset too, right there, with that stupid call. I mean, look, there are some wacky calls. The thing is, you've got a bunch of people here jumping in. John Moe is back in the house. How you doing, Bernard? Bernard, you don't have to be scared anymore. They did it. They pulled it off. Number 2. Now, I still think, look, the Packers still got some things to work on, no doubt, and they still got their issues. But this is the exact reason tonight's game, a lot of games end up going something like this, or where you've got to come through in the end. And that's why you need that guy as your quarterback. You got to have him. You got to have him.
No other quarterback with 30, however many seconds and no timeouts on the start at 25-yard line, first of all, would even be cool enough to complete one pass, much less two. I mean, maybe Tom Brady. That's about it. I mean, even Patrick Mahomes is not cool enough to do this. Like just relax and understand the situation and get everybody together. That's the other thing. All the guys had to get back up in line and not move. How many times have you seen that where there's always one guy moving at the end or whatever? Not with the Packers, but with other teams.
They had their spike formation set because it was clear and everybody knew where they're supposed to go and they got there right away. Did you see this? They showed it on TV, but like when the 49ers scored, you saw a bunch of these guys who are newer to the team or haven't been around Rodgers or whatever. They were just like, oh, man, you could see they were dejected. Even Adams was dejected. And then they showed the cut of them before they went out. And Rodgers is talking to the offensive linemen, these young offensive linemen, everybody on the side, and telling them, look, guys, I've done this a bunch of times before. Like, we got time on the clock. We can do this. And he got them to believe. And he showed you. And then they freaking did it. They all did it. Adams made some great catches after really a couple bad drops. And then he got smacked and almost died.
Dude, I still can't get over that.
Then he came back in the game. Well, we'll talk about that in a second, too, because there has to be a correction by the NFL for something like that.
You have to be able to look at the tape and be like, obviously, he got creamed.
Let me just finish this real quick. And then because I think that needs to be discussed. And then they just went out and did it. So, I mean, that's why you need this guy, man. Come on. Like, is amazing stuff. And then to put it in, like, you have to have a kicker. You can't have the Vikings kicker. You can't have the Lions kicker. You can't have somebody else's kicker. You got to have a kicker.
That's what Jesse just said to me. She was like, must be nice having a reliable veteran kicker. Because like, as a Vikings fan, she's like, we watch these guys miss kicks all the time at the end of games. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, sometimes, like I said, Mason drives me nuts, but he's a veteran who hits shot. I mean, he had that one bad year. Otherwise, he's pretty most of the time making shots when we need him, and that's worth something. It's worth whatever they pay him. That's for sure.
And he kicks in that crappy weather better than anybody, probably. And I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he punches the ball that far with barely lifted. Remember the old school kickers who the leg would like go way the heck above their head and they'd like spin around almost? He just punches it. Now these guys just like punch it where their leg only. I could lift my leg that far, but they get so much power. And it's like, how does he do it? And he nails it like 50 some yards. It's incredible. At first, when he hit it, I thought I was going to miss. And then it just kind of weaved back a little bit. And I was like, yeah, Mason. Number 2. That's why you got to love number 2. In the bathroom and on the field.
Okay, that's enough of that. But
all right.
I'll say this. Chevburger, I don't know who that guy is, or Sheevburger. He wrote, I'm still worried about the Devons, and then it changes the defense. But I'm worried about the Devons as well. Next week we play the Steelers.
Right.
There's a Devin Bush over there, and then there's a Devin White with Tampa Bay. We know that guy's tough. So I'm worried about the Devons and the defense.
We'll get to those. That's
two
true.
Good points without even knowing you had 2 points.
We'll get to those guys later on. But yeah, the defense is a little iffy. Like, okay, let's go
You're right,
back.
Jamo. It did almost get blocked. He said the kick almost got
It was
blocked, and it was
very close.
real close.
Yep. Yep. I mean, there were a number of real close plays in this game. Rodgers had like 3 or 4 throws that were like
Well, the
this
MVS
close.
touchdown. The MVS
Right.
touchdown was in like a centimeter of getting deflected, but it didn't. So
And
even
even
the pass, yeah,
to Adams,
to Adams, Fred Warner was right there. He just if he could have jumped like a quarter of an inch higher, could have been picked off or tipped up and then picked off. But
that's what football is a lot of times. It's insane. You do all this stuff, you practice all these things and whatever, and then it really comes down to inches sometimes. It's just totally crazy. All right, let's talk about the Adams play, the penalty that should have been, and get that out of the way, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the defense and some of this stuff. My heart was beating hard too when I'm telling you, I was like,
yeah, but you didn't have $500 on it like this guy.
no, I didn't. I believed that they, when the 49ers scored and there was still time on the clock, I was like, I think we got a shot here. I know it doesn't look good. I'd feel a lot better if we hadn't wasted that last timeout and hadn't lost the challenge. The challenge they lost was another timeout that was gone. That should have been a timeout in their back pocket too.
And even when that play happened, I knew I was like, why are we challenging this?
Because he didn't catch the ball.
I know, but they're going to call it a catch because the ball didn't really move that much.
Yeah, but he had the thing was he
caught the ground, top, it doesn't move. It doesn't matter. I know
the top half of the ball.
He didn't even catch it really.
No,
he didn't really catch it because it was going down. He just put his hands down with the ball. It wasn't really even a catch. But I knew they weren't.
He was losing the ball. He was losing the ball, and he used the ground to help secure it. Like
based
that's
on
the definition of no
the
catch.
game up to that point. That was not going to be reversed.
That was a terrible call.
We were getting F'd and F'd over and over and over.
And all those PIs,
those
PIs were legit.
They were, but I'll tell you right now, I can tell you a guy who's going to complain about him, Chris Sims, because he's been complaining about pass interferences on defenses for the last couple of weeks. I've heard him on his Chris Sims on button.
Those were all dumb plays by the defenders. They grabbed early and they never turned around. Those are
Eric Stokes PI they called where he put his hand on the guy's shoulder. That was bull. Malarkey sauce.
That was some trash. But if he had turned his head, he wouldn't have got called for it.
I don't give a crap.
Like but hey, quick note on Stokes. He played pretty darn well tonight. Give him some credit. Give him some credit.
He was bumped. There was a couple plays where he just was like bump and run, grab the guy. Like he took Deebo Samuel that one play. It was like huge. And it was, if it wasn't for all these freaking penalties they kept calling on us all the time, I was just like, good God.
I don't want Bernard to get mad, but Kevin King should not be back in there.
No, they should really cut him. Just cut him now. Just cut him.
Stokes was hanging with Deebo Samuel. He was hanging with Ayuk. He was coming up and making plays. He played one running play early in the game. He played it perfect. He came up, forced the ball back inside, maintained outside leverage, took on the blocker, and had the linebacker get access to the tackle. It was a perfectly well played play by a corner and a run coming at you on your side. So he seems disciplined. We know he's pretty fast. He changed direction better than I expected. So yes, Eric Stokes, you are our starter. Please be our starter for like 15 years or something, or at least 10 years. How's that? We'll take it. Yeah. And yes, the defense is a little scary because though I guess the scare. Okay. So again, it was the line. They couldn't stop the run. They
got a couple plays here and there.
Yeah,
and they got pressure a couple. Like, hey, Kenny Clark.
Except at the end, when you knew it was going to be pass every play, how are they not getting any pressure? It's just remarkable.
The problem is, and Bruce was complaining about this as well. He kept saying on the thing, they're only sending 4 guys. Okay, listen. It's not a problem that they only send four guys. The problem is that they're only sending 4 guys and they're playing soft zone, stupid coverage behind it. When they would send 4 guys and play man and bump and run and mess with them and get them off the spot, like that one huge play to Kittle, he just ran straight. Nobody even touched him. Like bounce him, move him off his freaking route a little bit, slow the play down, screw up the timing, do something. But they just stand there like they play this dumb zone. And then Garoppolo just sits there and nobody gets there. And then he's wide open and throws the ball. It's like it happened tons of times. And when they blitzed a couple times, one time he almost blitzed and it was a run and he totally wasn't in the right spot and the guy ran for 20 yards. But what are you going to do? Sometimes that happens to you. But if they would blitz, if they're going to play zone, they need to blitz. And the other thing is this team can't obviously collapse the pocket. They're not good at that. They're not good at when the four guys rush, beating their guy one-on-one. It's like, and with Garoppolo, who's pretty much a statue back there, if you can't get to him, what are we going to do against fast guys? I don't know. But what they should do is send multiple guys at one, line up 4, 5, 6 guys at the line of scrimmage, and then only come from one side. Force 2 offensive linemen to decide what they're going to do when they bring 3 guys at them. And then the other guys bring them back in coverage and switch the coverage over like this, right? From where the blitz is coming from. And then that way you're still playing a soft coverage, but you're forcing the quarterback off of his spot because you're attacking one particular area of the field. And Garoppolo is not a good thrower on the run. Why are we not doing that? I don't know. They just let him sit back there in the pocket and throw the ball. That's stupid. It's stupid is what it was.
Well, exactly what you're talking about. They did. They got a freed up Preston Smith where he didn't get blocked at all on a 3rd down, and he got there and got the hit on him and knocked the ball down, and it was a punt. It was an incomplete pass. More things like that make sense to do. Yeah, you overload one side and you make them make a decision. And if the quarterback is smart enough to call it, adjust the protection, but clearly he didn't adjust the protection there because he sent Juszczyk out in the flat. You should have kept him in to chip on that Preston Smith, who was completely unblocked, and he didn't. So we ended up with a free rusher. The other thing the Packers could do when they're doing just 4-man rush, I didn't see hardly any stunts, and the guys were struggling one-on-one trying to beat their guys straight up. And I'm like, well, then run some switches, run some stunts, run some loops.
Well, they pointed out that one awesome stunt where Dean Lowry actually he did a stunt and then just did a spin move and went right to Garoppolo. I was like, hey, all right, cool, do that. That was awesome. John Mo's got 27 freaking comments on here.
Yeah, he's talking about how I felt like that too. They were just kind of, that last drive, the 49ers were like, yeah, we got this. We're going to do whatever we want with them. And they were. But the thing is, they kept passing the whole time. And I was like, okay, I'll take that because it means you're probably going to score sooner than if you start running. Like if I was Shanahan, once you got inside, 1st and 10, I would have, or inside kind of the 10-yard line, I would have ran it a couple of times. They still had timeouts. They still had plenty of time. And then they could have really run down the clock. So to keep the pass on there, okay. Now, flip that to the end of the first half. I was like, they got inside what was 1st and goal at the 1, and then they passed it 2 times. I was like, what in the hell are they doing here? I'm like, you really think you're the 49ers? You're not gonna be able to run and get 1 yard here? I know they didn't have timeouts there, but I would have been confident that I would have scored a touchdown.
I think in the first half, they were it was really a stark difference between the play calls in the first half and the play calls all of a sudden, the start of the 3rd quarter, all of a sudden, hey, here's Deebo Samuel moving around this way, and this guy's moving over here, and you got crazy stuff, and Juszczyk is lined up at wide receiver, and it's like, holy crap! Where's that stuff in the first half? Thank God they didn't do it. Thank God they were more vanilla in the first half, and I was like, okay, cool. And all of a sudden, the second half, and it was weird because I think Collinsworth said something interesting. He said that Jimmy Garoppolo said that they had to kind of simplify the offense and it made it easier for him to run. They had to simplify it for Trey Lance. And I'm wondering if maybe the first half was the offense that they've been working on the whole time. And then the second half was calls from previous years that all those guys knew for the most part. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Where they were more complex plays and stuff that Jimmy Garoppolo knew. And most of those guys knew what the heck to do on. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying it just seemed like in that 3rd quarter and moving forward, all of a sudden they were pulling out all the stops with all these guys moving in motion, this guy moving over here, plays behind line of scrimmage, plays past it. They weren't as vanilla, and our defense couldn't handle it at that point, where they did a lot better in the second half.
Yeah. I'll get into a couple of quick comments from Jamo, but what I wanted to say is they ended up playing it, I guess, perfectly because it almost like they felt like, okay, if we bring in Lance and run the ball, we're going to score. So we might as well try to pass it a couple times. If that doesn't work, then we'll still do this. And so the way they ended the first half, they ended it about as perfectly as you could, left them with zero time and scored the freaking touchdown. And We ran the clock all the way down. Now they did. Luckily for us, they didn't execute the clock that way at the end of the fourth quarter, and so we still had 37 seconds. No timeouts, but we got Rodgers and we got Davante Adams come back in the game, and we got guys blocking okay, and we got Mason Crosby to nail the kick, even though it almost got blocked. Game of inches all night long. Jamo was talking about, oh yeah, still thinks we can't beat Tampa though, but we can beat the Rams. I don't know about that. The Rams look pretty good.
Just cover Cooper Kupp. Apparently,
Matthew
Cooper Kupp is the new
Stafford
secret
looks-
weapon in the history of all time.
Matthew Stafford looks really good, dude.
Maybe he's throwing picks.
Okay.
He's throwing picks. He's still doing dumb Matthew Stafford stuff.
Well, I hope so. I hope we get some of that. And Tampa, I don't know. It's not quite as, there's not quite the same urgency. There's not quite the same magic that they had. Now they can obviously, it's only 3 games in, and Brady can do whatever, and they might, whatever, Bruce Arians will insult some people, and who knows what'll happen. But hey, that's how it can go. But yeah, Debo, he points out Debo's catch with Jair Alexander's hand, like right in the middle. Is like
that was great coverage. I mean, Jair was right there.
What the hell are you do? Yeah, what are you supposed to do?
That was a great freaking catch.
Stupid.
It was a great catch.
There's so many plays on that last 49er drive too, where I thought the Packers had him or could have had him or who knows what.
Well, and here's the other, and I hate to say this. I don't want to bring up negative things.
Don't say it then.
No, I'm going to say it because it pisses me off.
All right, say
it. I love Davante. Okay, I don't. But
you don't. But he made some big plays tonight.
He did. He did make big plays. But we cannot win a game when one guy gets more than half of the targets on the team. I'm sorry. I mean, we had to have a miracle happen at the end for it to work. And I'm just done with it. I am done with it. Whenever it's clutch time, Rodgers just looks to him. And not only that, on the final third down or fourth, whatever it was, third down play, before they had to punt and give the ball back to the 49ers, and they went down and scored a touchdown and take the lead. What was the route combinations there? There was no route combination.
Yeah, it was a terrible.
It was a terrible call. Robert Tonyan ran it was 3rd and 4, right?
And I think it was like 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. So
no, it wasn't 3rd and 6. It was 3rd and 4 or 3rd and 5.
But it was a perfect time. Like the thing was, you had 3-by-1 again. So you had Adams alone, man coverage on the left side, plenty of room to work, right? And he runs a stupid up the sideline outer leverage kind of pattern. I'm like, just run a slant there. You got so much room. Run the slant.
Well, they got him on so many back shoulder throws that they're like, ooh, another back. Let's do another back shoulder. Okay, well, you've done it 7 times already. I think they're going to be looking for that crap.
Yeah.
Plus, they know they're not afraid of Davante beating them with speed past him. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Nobody's afraid of that crap.
Yeah.
So
true that.
But I mean, why on earth would you? I don't know. I mean, look over there. If he got past this guy, how many times have you watched Davante do a double juke slant move? Especially when he's over there by himself.
Yeah.
And then he runs a straight 10-yard straight. I don't know what that was. And then and Tonyan runs a straight route. And there was no combination underneath Tonyan, coming in on a slant underneath him. If you're going to have Tonyan run a route where he goes out and then back in on to the post, have somebody slant right underneath him. That's what they did last week on the touchdown, right? Lazard was wide open underneath him.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been perfect. Boom. Because there was nobody in the middle of the field because Fred Warner had to go with Tonyan. But they don't call that play. I don't understand. The play calling was at points in this game terrible. Bad, terrible, stupid.
Yeah, and then they had some crazy
3
awesome
passes in a row.
plays.
Aaron Jones gets a first down or gets 8 yards on first down, and then they pass to Davante, and then he catches it on. Of course, that was a run pass option. So that's the other thing, because people are complaining. I hate to say that, Bruce. Again, I'm sorry, Bruce, but you're making me mad today. You were complaining that Rodgers or that LaFleur called a pass on 2nd down and 3rd down. He called a run on 2nd down, but Rodgers changed it to a pass to his good buddy Davante again, and Davante, instead of just catching it and then falling for the first down, decided to try to spin and do a juke and then get tackled before the first down. And then on 3rd down, he decides to drop the pass because it's a little bit behind him, but he's the best receiver in the league, apparently. No, he's not.
But he made some awesome plays.
Okay, fine. When you get 75 balls thrown your way, eventually, you're going to make some awesome plays. I'm pretty sure if Tonyan had 75 balls thrown his way, he'd probably get some freaking good freaking plays too. But he never gets the ball thrown his way because Rodgers only throws to one freaking guy.
But
And eventually it's going to be a problem.
maybe it's
I'm just saying.
decoy. Maybe it's decoy. Maybe you can use that in the future. Maybe everybody will think you're just going to throw to Adams, and then you
Dude,
can
I know.
throw to
See,
everybody at the
dude's
super
on here
important
now,
play.
and dude's like, at least they won, and that's all that
Yes.
matters.
Why are you
Yes,
getting
dude.
so
I'm
mad?
not mad. I'm not mad. I'm just I get mad because
I know you want.
people always blame
I know,
LaFleur for crap.
No, and I know
And
you
I'm
want, and
sick of it.
I get it. And LaFleur, like, look,
He was pissed.
he was on everything tonight. All the bad calls, he was on them. He challenged the right play. He did everything
He should have
tonight.
challenged that
Yes,
play.
he should have. It was not a freaking catch. And then he was on all the calls. He couldn't believe the one wasn't a intentional grounding. I couldn't either.
That was but he used up all his timeouts. He had none left.
And then he couldn't believe the call that wasn't made on Davante Adams. So I know
that one was
just got mad about Davante Adams.
ridiculous. But look, both of those two were the intentional grounding should have ended the game or ended the first half with no points.
Mm-hmm.
And there should have been a penalty on the illegal hit, and the Packers would have had the ball in good field goal, almost in field goal range, instead of turning it over.
In today's football, that play is not allowed. So
Dude,
for any old school football people, it'll be like smash them up. It's fine. They want that. It's not allowed anymore. Now the replay expert guy they had, or official expert guy they had on NBC, I can't remember his name, but he said this is a miss by the league. This is a bad operation by the league. They changed the positioning. But
that guy saw that crap. That guy saw that crap.
I know, but how is that play, that non-call made? That should be something that you can get a call from New York and be like, hey, that's a penalty. I mean, especially when the guy's laying there for 2 minutes, you got plenty of time.
Well, it's one thing if there's been times when guys lay there for 2 minutes and they're acting. So I get that. But this was, I mean, obviously it was helmet to helmet, smack him in the, I mean, he even watched, and he even went and then went at the end. Like he gave him an extra helmet at the end.
But you have
before he hit him.
But I'm just saying, you have the officials, head of officials or whatever, and the league is watching all this stuff from their center, their brain center, and they do it when all the games are going on. You can't tell me plays like that, if an official misses a call, there's not somebody monitoring that to be like, call the stadium or call somebody there and say, look, no, that's a personal foul. That call needs to be made.
And I told you about how in both of the two previous games, Jaquaski Tart had the cheap freaking call. Now this was Ward, but still, both those two safeties are cheap little sons of guns. And I mean, against the Eagles, Tart had the late hit on Hurts going out of bounds, and against the Lions, he knocked out their number one receiver doing the same crap that Ward did to freaking Davante. So it's ridiculous, and it's obvious though, since with all the pass interference calls in the first half on the 49ers. That LaFleur, like Bruce said this on the show Friday night, he said, well, hopefully LaFleur talks to the refs and is like, hey, these guys are freaking holding all the goddamn time. Let's call this crap. And they finally did call it. So we did get some good calls in the first half. But it almost felt like, I don't know, it almost felt like they were like making up for the fact that they gave the 49ers so many penalties in the first half. They're like, okay, well, I guess we'll call a bunch of pass interferences on the Packers here. We'll call Jair smacks the guy in the helmet, or he barely touches him in the helmet. Whatever.
Let's talk about Jair. He had two crazy heads-up plays tonight. He had that one where they pointed out he was in a certain coverage. He didn't have anybody in his area out there, so he went in and rushed the quarterback and put pressure on him. The other heads-up play was the pick. He was playing left. I think it was like left quarter or whatever it was. And he was in a certain coverage where nobody was there. Nobody came into his zone in his area. And so when he saw the guy running down the middle, he just peeled off and went for it. And that was an incredible catch and play. And it was actually a really great pass for the receiver, but he just went after it more than Kittle did.
Well, it's funny because
freaking crazy.
2 years ago, a very similar play to that, where I think it was actually Jair, who didn't come on that side to help out with Kittle on the far side. And that ended up being a big, huge touchdown on a deep pass. So at least they learned something from 2 years ago, right? Or maybe it was Kevin King who didn't come off. I can't remember who exactly it was. Everybody thought it was somebody's fault, but whatever. I don't know. I mean, that was a great play. And Jair is one of those guys who I wish he was a little bigger. You know, I think
Yeah.
he's got instincts like almost like Charles Woodson had, but he's just not as big or tough. You know what I mean? So I don't know if he's got like that sort of ability. You know, but that was a great. I mean, that pick was huge,
He keeps
huge.
if he keeps making plays like that, he's gonna be approaching Tremont Williams status for me pretty soon.
I don't know
But
about that. I don't know
well,
about
all
that.
right,
Tremont is the man.
he's got to do it for a while, but he's got to
Yeah,
make more big plays like that.
yeah.
Those are impactful plays. Those are huge plays.
Maybe
Those are
he's
what they
making
need.
Micah Hyde status right now.
Let's give one more defensive shout out. I know people are talking about concerns with the defense, and we were too. But can we just recognize the fact? And I haven't been all that sold on him yet, but
I
he
know
played
you've
really
been
well
talking smack
tonight.
about. I know you're going to talk about it, and you've been
You
talking
played
smack
really
about it.
well tonight. Can we just recognize the fact that we should be very lucky that we have Davante Campbell? Like he's an incredible upgrade from the linebackers we've had the last couple of years. I mean, he's
He
better than Blake
attacks.
too.
He attacks and makes plays instead of waiting for the guy to come to him and then tackle him. He just goes to him. He watches the quarterback, and as soon as the ball is passed, as soon as the ball is released from the hand of the quarterback, he starts making his way to the guy. Now, actually, Summers had a tackle like that in the game, one, where he actually made he read the play and made the tackle before, as soon as the guy caught it. So that was good. But Campbell has been like, there's at least 3 or 4 plays where passes were to the flat and Campbell was there immediately, and sometimes tackled for a loss on those plays.
And he was the only guy heads up to get on that loose ball too. I was like, would somebody
Yeah,
get
what
over
was
there?
Gary was moving so slow? I was like, what are you doing, dude? It's a loose ball. Run. Like, you're wearing number 52. Clay Matthews would be jumping on that crap a long time. Like, he'd be way faster moving than that. And I was scared because it was him and like Dean Lowry. I was like, oh my God, they're not going to get there. They're not going to get there. And then all of a sudden Campbell came from out of nowhere and dived down. I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, it's refreshing to have at least. I'm not saying he's like all world linebacker, but he is a lot better than what we've had for a while. And he has speed that we haven't had there for quite some time with some of the other skills put together. Now, Barnes got hurt, was out with a concussion. So Ty Summers got to play some. Oren Burks got to play some. I mean, yeah, Summers made a couple of plays, but he still just looks like he's just, I don't know, he's thinking too much.
He's thinking too much.
He's
thinking
just,
too much.
he's not playing fast. And
not.
Burks is playing fast, but then he just misses stuff and gets out of position.
Yeah, well, at one time they sent him on a blitz and he got in there and like screwed some stuff up. So hey,
right,
just do that with him.
Right, but those two guys got to play because Barnes was out, and you don't know what the concussion, like how long it's going to be, so they're going to have to step up. Luckily, Campbell played awesome, so that was good. We had a couple other injuries with, like who else went out? Like another corner went out.
Yeah, well, Chan Sullivan got banged up for a little
Sullivan
bit.
got banged up.
He was back in there later.
He had a rougher game, but
he had the huge third down stop on the first third down. I mean, come on. Listen, I hate it when, listen, people have got to stop. Like even John Moe was talking about Jair had a couple bad plays at the end. Listen, corners are going to make bad plays.
It's hard.
It happens. They have the hardest job in the freaking world. You have fast, taller guys than you who know where they're going, and you don't, and you can't touch them, or else you get called for a damn penalty all the dang time. So more often than not, they're probably going to, not more often than not, but I mean, probably good percentage of the time, they're going to end up getting beat or do something dumb or whatever, because what are they going to do? They're all alone out there, and they're trying to stick with the dude. Like when they showed that replay of Stokes covering, I can't remember if it was Ayuk or Deebo Samuel or whatever, and he stayed right with him, and you saw his eyes, and he was like looking straight at Deebo. He was like, I am not letting you whatever you do, as soon as you make a move, I'm following. And it was awesome. I mean, Stokes was doing his thing out there. I was like, dude, stick with him. Like, I want to see some man coverage out of those two guys because they're not great tacklers anyways. So him and Jair, just play a freaking man on the outside all the damn time and play a zone in the middle. Screw it. I think they can handle it out there.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly, if you're challenging the receivers, and I'd take my chances more often than not with those two guys playing man versus sitting back and letting them catch passes in front of you and stuff like that. So yeah. And then it frees you up to bring more pressure at times, because it's clear they need help getting pressure on the quarterback. They cannot, the guys aren't winning. And we talked about it a little bit. I don't want to harp on that though. That's just what it is. Like, that's the fact. The Packers cannot generate much pressure. It's a stark difference from the team they're playing against. Team they're playing against usually has a good idea getting pressure on the Packers quarterbacks or Aaron Rodgers most of the time, right? But the team we are playing, our defense is playing against, seems like they have a lot of time to throw. So if you play man with those two corners, you free up guys to send. And I think, people are hard on Barry too. And I think in that third quarter, I think he called some really great plays to stop him a couple times. And he did do some of that. So give him a little credit. Now, yeah, there's some stuff to work on. I get it. But, hopefully he's figuring that out, seeing what certain guys are best at and is putting it together. And I think LaFleur has to tell him to be more aggressive at times, and he has. And so I think that also helps him be more aggressive. But just be aggressive, Barry. Don't hold back, man. Go for it. Hey, Lee's around. Lee, how you doing? He
Lee,
says
what's up?
impressed overall. Overcame refs and Niners making a few nice plays. Good game by the Pack. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was barn burner, but what are you gonna do?
I mean, I know you were thinking something else with your score prediction, but I thought it was
Dude, that's what it should have been. Honest to God. It should have. I mean, even with them going for it on fourth down and not getting it, right? It should have been 17-0 at half because Jimmy Garoppolo freaking was intentional grounding. So it should have been lost it down and a 5-second run off of the clock because it's an offensive play call penalty with 2 seconds left. And the story. Done. Period. Right? Boom. So it should have been 17-0. And then in the second half, they should have called that freaking illegal hit on Davante at least. And that would have changed up some stuff. And they would have only had 14 points. The 49ers would have had 14. The Packers would have scored another touchdown. It would have been 35-14. Like I said, I would have been totally correct with my statement. And I did say the only way they're going to score touchdowns with Trey Lance. Well, how do they score touchdowns with Trey Lance? That was it. I mean, and then that last play with Juszczyk. I'll say this: Juszczyk, that guy runs through some crap, man. He don't mess around. And Kittle,
pretty tough.
Kittle he's a crazy freaking dude. I don't know why. The thing about the 49ers, how many times? Debo, Juszczyk, Kittle, Ayuk. It's like we didn't know where it was coming from or who was getting the ball or what was going on. And then you look at the Packers and it's Rodgers looks at Davante and throws Davante. I mean, listen, eventually it's going to catch up to us. Okay?
Yeah, that's true.
Eventually it's going to catch up to us. And it's going to be a problem if Rodgers doesn't start running the goddamn offense instead of just looking to his buddy all the goddamn time. I'm sorry. And I know you love him, but Rodgers sometimes is ding dong. He was awesome at the end of this game. And yeah, did he throw Davante twice? Yes. And did Davante catch him? Yes. And is Davante good? Yes. Is he as good as he thinks he is? No. But you can't do
That's
that.
Fair. That's
Nobody
fair.
can do that. What did the Lions do when they had Kelvin Johnson? Did they win when they went to Kelvin Johnson 75,000 times a game?
No. And you remember
what did the Vikings do when they had Randy Moss and they had the Randy ratio? Did they win when they had the Randy ratio? No, they did not win when they had the Randy ratio. So if we keep throwing to Davante, more than half of the pass attempts go to Davante, eventually it'll be like, maybe like the game one where we can't do anything because everybody's just like, well, let's just put 3 guys in Davante because Rodgers, when it's third down, he just looks at Davante. That's all I'm saying. And I'm happy with the win. I'm happy with the way guys are doing it. I just want to see some more guys get involved. I mean, MVS got a little bit tonight, which is cool. But I kept saying in the text with you guys, I'm like, do we have any other receivers on this team? Does it matter? On 3rd and 2, I don't know, maybe throw to Randall Cobb. He's pretty good at getting open. He's a little shifty guy who knows how to get open. There are times he's not even on the field on 3rd and 2. Why not? Why not? Also, on the 4th down play where they went for, why don't we just run A.J. Dillon up the gut? I mean, he's a big fat dude. Well, not fat, but a big monster, strong dude. Just run him up the gut. It ain't going to hurt nobody. But nope, got to pass all the dang time.
All right, let me say a couple things. Davante, look, first of all, the Randy ratio, wasn't that like a Mike Tice brainchild? Didn't he
Yeah,
create that?
it's
Yeah,
Mike
okay.
Tice.
Mike Tice. Yeah.
And he told everybody, that was the genius of Mike Tice. Not only did he decide to do the Randy ratio, he told everybody about the Randy ratio.
So and then still did it. It wasn't even like tricking it.
Yeah. And every team knew, okay, he's going to just throw to Randy Moss half the time. So just cover Randy Moss, everybody. And that's what everybody did. It was dumb. The Vikings were dumb.
That's hilarious. You're right. It's too much going to Adams for sure. But I mean, you have to give him credit for, I mean, I was really mad when he dropped. He should have had one, and then he dropped that other one. I was like, come on, man. You got to make that. You got to make that catch. Yeah. It was an important time of the game. But yes, you're right. I mean, Rodgers started off with a deep pass to Lazard. Nobody was seeing that coming. I was like, what? That's Lazard out there? Okay, we'll take it.
I wasn't watching that.
And then, yeah, he hit some other guys, and they had a couple shorter things at Tunyon and stuff like that. I think you're right. Hopefully they realize not every game should go like this, and there's going to be times that it shouldn't go like this. But if they, I think more often than not, if he's in a situation like end of the game, he's not throwing it to anybody else unless Davante's like triple covered, because he's going to trust him to make the play. And we'll see. Hopefully he can. Now, I did see Tunyon have a nice little jump move, like you were talking about last week. It was a pretty good one tonight too, on the one screen play. So he's shown a little more of that versatility, man. That and kind of that George Kittle running style, a little bit. Not quite the tackle breaker, but he's getting there. We saw Josiah DeGuara catch. Of course, he got
tackled right away. Yeah, that was
tackled
awesome.
right away too. Yeah, dang it. Anyway,
you think they're kicking themselves for cutting Jace Sternberger, and then Daphne gets hurt the next day?
I don't think so.
A couple days later.
As long as DeGuara's here, I think they're okay with it. I mean, Sternberger,
I'm not comparing. Oh, John Mo thinks I'm comparing Davante to Moss. No. I'm not. Davante is not anywhere near the league of Moss. I'm saying, and that even proves my point more. The Randy ratio didn't work. And we're doing the Davante, what Mo called it, the Davante dividend or something, or dividend, whatever. We're doing the same crap with Davante, and he's not even half as good as Moss. So it's not going to work, guys. Yes, our quarterback is much better than Culpepper, who obviously Culpepper had tiny hands and fumbled all the time. Rodgers got giant hands and never fumbles. But still, it's not a smart move.
All right, let me hit on a couple of stats here.
All right,
so I'll just do this is what I used to do at post games. We used to run through the stats. So, the Packers had, it was a pretty even up game, but the Packers are favored in all kind of the main stats. I mean, they had 353 total yards, 253 passing, 100 rushing yards, and 6 yards per play. Whereas the Niners are at 294 total yards, 231 passing, only 63 rushing yards, and 4.5 yards per play. So they had more first downs. Niners had 26 first downs, the Packers 21. Third down efficiency was the bugaboo again. So the Niners were 7 of 11 on third down. So again, even though the Packers defense, held them to no points most of the first half, still 7 of 11 times on the money down, they couldn't get off the field. The Packers are 5-11 on third downs and 0-1 on fourth. And then total plays were pretty evened up. Niners had a few more, 65-59. 4-3 in the punts. Niners had 4 punts. Packers had 3 punts. And then penalties. Here you go. The Niners had 4 penalties for 86 yards, and the Packers had 7 penalties for 87 yards. So a lot of those were phantoms. We understand that. And then it was a fumble lost, interception, and 0 turnovers for the Pack.
There you go. 0 turnovers for the Pack, baby. So I'll take that stat every day.
McCarthy's fundamentals of football. As turnovers are the number one fundamental of football. The Packers win that, and they win. And then time of possession was almost even up. It was 30 minutes and 8 seconds for the Packers, 29-52 for the Niners, and equals a Mason
that's
Crosby.
Scary because at halftime it was 2-1.
I know. They didn't have. Well, they went.
I know they had the ball first and all, but still.
Yeah, it was a long drive. The Packers got the ball, and then they had that stupid 3 and out, and then for another long drive, they didn't get the ball till the end of the third quarter. So they barely had. They had just pretty much 1 possession in the third quarter, which is not enough.
So Mom is saying that the TV reception went out and they missed all the whole second half.
Oh my God, Mom, your favorite guy, Mason Crosby.
First of all, What the heck happened there? Second of all, were you then listening to the great Wayne Larrabee?
There you go.
Larry McCarron.
Turn on your radio.
When was the dagger thrown? That's what I want to know. I did not listen to. Like when was the dagger? I bet you he had 7 daggers in this game. In the first half, there was probably a dagger in the first half. And then when MVS caught the touchdown, there's your dagger. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute. Actually, we're losing. And then finally, finally Mason Crosby. He probably was Mason Crosby with the dagger through the uprights. Wayne Larrabee. he's just not good.
You got to be careful. You got to be careful with those type of things. Definitive. Oh, it's the end. That's the dagger. Whatever. That's the game-winning play. You got to be careful about giving those too early as a broadcaster. Let me just say it, because craziness can happen at the end of games, just like it happened in this game. A bunch of other games today in the NFL too that were totally bonkers. So, including that. Okay. Dang it. No longer does the Packer kicker have the longest field goal record of all time because of a doink and a boink. And
actually, no. You know why that happened? Because of a bullcrap call.
I heard that too. They missed one, huh?
It was even almost worse than what we got screwed with.
The Lions.
Because the Lions lost the game. The play clock went to 0, and they did not call it. They should have called it. And then that field goal, instead of being 66 yards or whatever the hell it was, would have been, I don't know, was that a 5-yard penalty or 10-yard penalty when the play clock goes to 0? 5 yards?
It should be 5, yeah.
Well, then it would have been 72-yard field goal. I don't think he would have made that
one. Yeah, that one wouldn't have gone in.
Because the doink didn't went in. So the Lions got screwed again.
God, the Lions.
I got to be honest. I feel sorry for the Lions fans.
You should.
Because we should all be sorry for them as Packer fans. They suck for years and years. And they get 0 breaks. They get screwed more than like what we went through tonight as Packer fans watching this 49ers bullcrap happening with all the bullcrap calls. The Lions get that every single week, no matter who they play. Usually when they play us, they get bullcrap calls against them. And then against the Ravens, they got the bullcrap calls. I don't get it. Poor Lions to get screwed. I don't even know why they're even playing anymore. It's like they're the Bucks. But the Bucks turned around this year and won it all. So
that's why they're playing.
I guess they're hoping they can turn it around one day, 100 years from now. What?
That's how you win 2 championships and 50 years apart. Eventually it might come around. Oh my God. Okay. Lee points out that Dillon isn't as good at plowing through as Jones is sneaking through. And that's
Jones had 3 sneakers in this game. 3.
And that was the thing. It was interesting because Collinsworth kept I don't know. Obviously you can't see it all real time as quickly, but he's like, those young guys up front are doing awesome. And they show the replay and they blocked for 1 split second, or Myers kind of got in the way. Look at this big, wait a minute. On the replay, you see what actually happened. You see that if that wasn't Aaron Jones, nothing would happen. Yeah. So Aaron Jones just needs little creases. That's why I said it. It works.
He's the best back for this offensive line.
Yeah, with this line. Because these guys are not good run blockers. And the first half was rough. Royce Newman started off horrible. Myers and him were really bad early on, and they were getting schooled on pass protection, and they were not blocking their guys on running plays. I think there was 4 plays in a row, running plays, where Royce Newman's guy made the tackle. And I was like, And I get it. He's their chosen one. They want him to be out there, fine. But he's got to be better than that. And then they got a little better, but still, they're not guys that are maulers. They're not guys that are moving the line. They're not guys that are sustaining blocks too well. So, Billy Turner, I didn't even get a chance to look at him tonight because I wasn't watching. I'll have to look at more replay stuff. I know a couple plays he had some Billy Turner plays, but
Yashi
overall not too bad, I don't think. And Yashi,
how did Yashi do? I don't even know.
He did okay.
Bosa kicked his butt a couple times, but what do you expect? It's Bosa.
Exactly. He had the toughest assignment by far.
Yeah,
and I think he did okay. Now they had a stat, Rodgers got rid of the ball in 2.5 seconds or less a bunch of times. So that obviously helps them. And the running game was effective enough. But again, a lot of times you see the difference between Dillon and Jones. A lot of times it's effective because Jones is Jones. He doesn't need a lot. He's just okay, there's a little opening. I'm going for it, and that was it.
Well, the guys in the chat are talking about Dillon and his running style and, how he doesn't seem to get yards sometimes, and then the one time he did get the first down on a 3rd and 2, and he ran up the gut and got 4. On that, the reason why he did that, I just want everybody to know, on that play, he was in the I formation. He was behind Rodgers. Rodgers was under center, and he got ahead of steam. I mean, they got to stop. And I know Rodgers loves the shotgun, but it's not a good running formation for A.J. Dillon. I'm sorry. He's not quick and shifty. He can't just get going and then move like Aaron Jones can. Aaron Jones out of the shotgun, really good. A.J. Dillon, no. So let's give A.J. Dillon a little hit of steam before he gets the ball so he can plow through some crap. And if you're going to do a shotgun, let's get Aaron Jones out there. And if he's hurt or tired, put in that Kylan Hill. He's a little shiftier. A.J. Dillon, not so much. That's part of the problem. You have to understand what your players can do and use them in the proper way. Hello, McFly. Like, duh.
Jones was a little beat up tonight too. He had to
he got hit a couple times.
Times. So hopefully those are just some, whatever, some minor things that I think.
Well, the other thing that was weird was, did they use him in the passing game at all? Did he even get one pass thrown to him?
Yeah, early in the game, but not much after that.
Last week he was the focal point of the red zone offense, and all of a sudden this week he's like, yeah, Aaron Jones, we're not going to give you any balls.
He was
Davante.
He got an early flat pass where he looked really open. Rodgers got it to him quick, and then they just convulsed on him in a hurry, like 2 guys on him, and tackled him for a short game. So I don't know. I mean, it depends. But then the Niners went to more man later, and we're playing a lot more man. So you would have thought then he should have been. You could have used him in the second half a little more in the flat and coming out of the backfield, but they didn't really do that. So I don't know.
And I don't remember, I didn't see much play action.
No, not a lot.
And I know they probably want to get the ball out fast, but why not play action rollout? Maybe an extra protection on the side you're rolling out to. Keep a tight end in to block.
I mean, the only thing I could say about that is maybe, like you said, if they're in the gun. And
that's the problem. They're in the gun.
You're just doing straight up too. You're thinking, okay, that gives me a little more. At least the defenders are a little further away from me, my quarterback. And if you're doing play action and somebody whiffs on their block right away, Joey Bosa's in, or whatever, Nick Bosa's in your lap before you even turn around and get.
Did I say Joey Bosa? I said Joey Bosa like 100 times on Friday.
Did you say it? Okay, all right.
I don't know. I probably did. I said it on Friday night like an idiot.
Which that's kind of.
I hate that when I go back and watch the show and then I'm like, I'm an idiot.
I will say that's.
I think I'm a moron.
That's pretty mean to Nick because he's much better looking than his brother Joey. I mean, his brother Joey's got that big honker nose and.
Dude, he's not a good looking guy.
No, but Nick Bosa's pretty sharp looking dude. Give him some credit.
I don't know about that, but I just know Joey Bosa is not so good looking.
He's a handsome man. He's a handsome man.
Give a heads up to or a shout out to my man Justin Herbert.
Ooh, big Herbert.
Beat the Chiefs today.
There you go. I like that. Chiefs are 1-2.
They tried to give it away a couple times, but then good old Patty Mahomes decided to just overthrow his boy Kittle, throw a pick, and that changed a lot of stuff there. And what else? Oh yeah, we'll give a shout out once more to Rick's Raiders. Ooh, son of a gun, those guys keep winning. They gotta go to overtime. They gotta go to overtime twice to win, but they do it. They keep winning.
The Raiders.
Derek Carr is freaking. I'll tell you this. He's the MVP, baby. He's the MVP of the league right now.
And maybe that 10-year commitment to Gruden wasn't crazy after all.
I think it was. It was probably
his
crazy.
mad. His mad
don't
ways
forget,
are coming around.
And then heads up to Mom. Russell Wilson got his butt smacked today by the Vikes. So that's good news for Mom because she hates Russell Wilson, and so do I. So it's good news for me too. But
there you go.
I know Mom really hates him. Mom hates 2 people, the devil and Russell Wilson. So that's saying something. Because Mom usually she likes everybody, but she does not like the devil, and she most certainly does not like Russell Wilson. Yeah. So that's if you're in that category, that's not good, Russell Wilson. Just saying.
That's true. She definitely does not. She's not a fan. Not
a fan of the devil.
Look, I mean, man, there was just so many things in this game, but that's kind of the initial thoughts. I'm sure when we look at it a little closer, we'll come up with some more stuff. But
yeah, we'll do it. I'm just glad we came. I just want to come on because it's too freaking awesome. It's too awesome to not talk about it and be cool and have a couple guys like, John Moe's back and Lee and everybody. Hopefully some other folks can see it. And it's just fun. It's just fun to be like, to get a win like that and to just revel in it and be like, yeah, baby.
It's big.
It wasn't perfect. We got screwed. We did some dumb stuff. But you know what? We won the freaking game. We won the freaking game. Rodgers pulled the freaking Houdini, which he loves to do.
There you go.
So, hey.
Love the Houdini. Hey, one other quick shout out. I mean, I know he had a couple of misplays and stuff like that, but overall, I like the way Savage attacked tonight. He was attacking like those short crossers coming up.
Yeah, that was good.
Physical. Like, that's what we need out of him. Not sit back and
I thought
around.
Amos had a little bit of a rough game.
Yeah.
He did not do so hot on Kittle. He misjudged a couple of blitzes. He missed a tackle or two.
He tried to
Amos,
trip Garoppolo.
Tripped the guy. No, he was getting held. He was getting held by Juszczyk.
Yeah, I know.
So it should have been holding first and foremost, but they're never going to call that crap.
Aaron Jones, 19 carries tonight for 82 yards, Ben.
Hey.
And a touchdown.
That's 4 yards a carry.
2 catches for Aaron Jones tonight for 14 yards. So there you go.
20 touches. He needs to have at least 20 touches a game. He had 21 tonight. He should have 20 every freaking game. He was even in there for like 4 or 5 drives. I was like, why is AJ Dillon in here so much?
I think he was, I think because he was banged up a bit. So they were kind of working around that stuff a little bit. But yeah. Hey, one other
MVS caught everything going his way too.
He did. MVS was good. And he wasn't even in that last drive, which I saw that shot of him on the sideline. Like he was like in the game and he was saying stuff to, I don't know who he was trying to tell something to, but must maybe one of the receivers or something. And which was interesting.
This guy on the field isn't in there.
I know. I was surprised when I saw him on the sideline. I was like, "What? Why the hell is he in it?" But they had Tunyon in, so instead of 5 wides, they had Tunyon in. So they had Tunyon and Cobb, and of course Adams and Lazard, and then who's the other dude?
I think it was AJ Dillon.
Might have been, yeah.
I think it was because he was back to help protecting or something.
It was kind of wacky, but MVS, I was like, really?
It worked. Whatever it did, it worked.
There you go. One other thing. Oh, quick shout out, Ben. Did you happen to see this before we go? Did you happen to see? He hobbled off late. He did get banged up. One other quick thing. You happen to see that JLK is making some plays on the Browns? I think he's getting some PT, man.
Yeah, I watched that game today because did you see what I did?
Oh, I know the story is going to be about Garrett like killing everybody, but 4.5 sacks.
No, I'm talking about my fantasy football team.
Oh, all right. Talk about. Oh yeah, you just.
I have Baker Mayfield and I have Justin Fields, and I was like, I want to start Justin Fields at his first start because he's going to do awesome. And he gave me -3 points, -3 something points, and I'm just like, oh my god,
ouch.
And then my defense scored 31 points.
Well, there you go.
By the way, I think I'm going to beat you in Hafeman Bros fantasy football.
My team sucked this week.
Well, you started a guy who didn't even play.
Well,
and so did Mom. Yeah, Mom started a defensive player who didn't play.
But do you want to see the guys on my bench? 1.7 points, 5.5 points, 6.3. So it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Those guys all stunk it up. Jeez.
No, whatever. We can talk about that on Friday.
My team sucks. Oh, wait. I still have a chance. McCarthy Magic. Dak Prescott goes tomorrow night. So maybe he'll have like 50 burger for you and I'll win. Or for me. There you go. Anyway, Packers win it in magical style. And I think it made Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels a little disappointed. They were like, oh, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, they were so excited. They're like, Jimmy Garoppolo, you did it. You beat Aaron Rodgers head to head. That's all. Like they were going crazy about all this. And
he deserves it.
The game ain't over, dude. The game's not over. We got Aaron Rodgers, man. He pulls crap out of his butt all the time. Here we go. Big matchup tomorrow night is Dak Prescott versus Ezekiel Elliott tomorrow night. You against me.
Oh, all right. Well, hopefully they throw it 100 times like they normally do.
I have 35 more points than you at this point. So you have to somehow you have to get 35 more points with Dak Prescott than what Ezekiel Elliott gets.
Hey,
for you to beat me.
With McCarthy as the play caller, I think it could happen.
But
if Kellen Moore is his name, right? If he's the play caller, but he's been
Kellen Moore, yeah. Kellen Moore is quarterback.
He's under McCarthy's tutelage, so I think he's getting like that 80-20 pass to run ratio for McCarthy, and so maybe it'll be okay.
And Weasel beat me in the Aaron Rodgers versus Aaron Jones battle tonight.
Oh,
So I lost in Hafeman fantasy football for the first time.
dang.
Oh, what are you gonna do?
Packers are 2-1. They lead the division now. Only team at 2-1. Everybody else.
All right,
below
everybody,
500.
have a great night. Have a great week. If you know any 49ers fans, let them have it. I mean, poor
right.
John Mo. The Eagles. Hey, the Eagles win, or they play tomorrow night.
They play tomorrow night against the magical McCarthy-led Cowboys.
Well, that's who's going tonight. Oh boy, John Mo. I thought he was a Saints guy.
No,
No,
Slay is
Slay. Well, big play Slay. See, I'm wondering if he's a fan of Slay, the corner. We used to be with the Lions. Maybe he's actually a Lions fan originally, and he went to the Eagles because
Lions get screwed all the time.
yeah.
So he went to the Saints.
Yeah. Well, the Eagles, then the Saints.
Big play Slay. Oh,
So John Mo must think the Eagles going to beat the Cowboys. That's what he's going with.
all right.
I know John Mo's a Packer fan.
Fair enough. You think I mean, I don't care if they lose. I just want Dak to throw for like 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. That would be good.
As long as all 5 are to Ezekiel Elliott, I'm cool with that.
All right, we'll see what happens. Anyway, Packers win thanks to number 2 once again.